OKC is desperately trying to hide this, but MJ just went on camera and ripped Shai Gilgeous-Alexander apart for his constant flopping. And trust me, it gets way worse from here.
I can't stand his behavior. It's ruining what I have built.
The fans jumped in too, and they did not hold back. Wait until you hear how Shai fired back. The whole league lost its mind, and it took the greatest player of all time to finally say what everyone else was too scared to say out loud. Michael Jordan does not just show up on national TV to complain about modern players, but Shai's flopping pushed the GOAT to break his silence on live television. When a two-time MVP scores more points from the free throw line than from actual field goals in a deep playoff run, that is not basketball anymore. That is a performance. Shai made 120 free throws, but only 114 field goal shots across 14 playoff games. Michael Jordan took real, brutal hits from the bad boy Pistons just to get a whistle. So watching a modern star build his playoff legacy off referee tricks pushed Jordan right to the edge. He went on broadcasts and said he cannot stand this because it is destroying the standard he spent his whole life building.
We give the benefit to those who necessarily are trying to manipulate the game into their advantage. I just don't think it's basketball. Like, let's just play basketball. All the foul baiting, I think it's whatever for me.
When a finals MVP is willing to risk his money just to call the league out, you know things are about to explode. Shai led all players in the later playoff rounds with 10.0 free throw attempts per game, and the league revolted. But Jordan and Jaylen Brown calling him a fraud on TV was just the warm-up. Nobody expected the real data to leak out next, and what the numbers show about Shai's actual movement on the court makes the media drama look like a compliment. Through 14 playoff games, he took a league-high 123 free throws, which is 20 more than anyone else in the entire tournament. OKC fans will say this is a fluke, but Shai has been running the same game for 3 straight years. Since becoming an All-Star in 2023, only Giannis has shot more free throws than him. Giannis sits at 2,261, and Shai is right behind at 2,057. Nobody else in the NBA even reached 1,700 attempts. He is a skinny perimeter guard, somehow getting Shaquille O'Neal's whistle. Even in his MVP year, he averaged over 32 points, mainly by getting to the line nearly 9 times a night. And it gets worse. Shai fell down on 20 of his first 187 field goal attempts in the playoffs. That is a 10.7% falling rate. James Harden, the original foul baiter, was only at 8.7%. Jalen Brunson was at 7.9%, and Donovan Mitchell at 7.6%. Meanwhile, Victor Wembanyama, a 7'4" guy who actually gets fouled hard in the paint, fell down just once the entire postseason. One time. That is 0.6%. Final numbers showed Shai hitting the floor on over 17% of his total shots. He is treating the hardwood like a slip and slide. Jordan's free throws came from flying into the paint and taking real beatdowns, not from pump faking at the three-point line and throwing his body sideways to trick a referee. Jordan did not rely on gravity. That is exactly why the GOAT snapped this season and said he cannot stand Shai's behavior.
He's not Kobe. He's not Michael Jordan. It's Scap, I know you believe this. He's not Nikola Jokic. He's not someone that without the full complement of other weapons that make him great, he can't just figure it out on his own.
He flat out said Shai is not a true all-time great, and the rest of the media was lined up right behind them to pile on. You know you are in trouble when Shannon Sharpe is laughing at your entire basketball identity on Nightcap. Sharpe broke down the Game 6 tape and pointed out how funny the shift in officiating looked the moment refs stopped blowing the whistle every time Shai glanced at a defender. He started sarcastically calling Shai a sniper, mocking how he drops to the floor like he got shot from the upper deck. Shannon even said he has caught actual fish that flop less than this guy. Nasty line, but honestly fair if you watch Shai play. The roasting got so big that Jay Williams went on ESPN's Get Up and built an entire segment just to show a loop of Shai falling over.
Cue this. We're going to have this segment that's going to call Life Alert with SGA. Okay. Help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh, no. Okay.
Colin Cowherd jumped in too, giving Shai a very specific title on his show.
So he is officially in Flop City, the mayor.
What is wild is that Minnesota head coach Chris Finch called all of this out 5 months before the playoffs even started. Finch told reporters that OKC fouls a lot on defense, while referees refuse to let anyone touch Shai on offense without blowing the whistle. A couple of guys tried to defend Shai though. Reggie Miller attempted it, and Kendrick Perkins went on TV saying Shai just sells contact like everyone else and has averaged 30 points for 4 straight years. But that defense completely falls apart on its own. If every player in the league supposedly does the same thing, why is Shai the only one who built an entire MVP career around hunting for the whistle? And honestly, if Kendrick Perkins is your main defender, that is not a good sign. All this media chaos kept building until the actual games exposed everything. The moment referees decided to treat Shai like a regular player, the collapse that followed in Game 6 proved Jordan was right all along. That brutal Game 6 loss did not just knock out the Thunder, it stripped away Shai's entire superstar image on live television. The second refs put their whistles away, his scoring completely disappeared. Shai finished with just 15 points on 6 for 18 shooting, while OKC got blown out by 27 points in their own building. His minus 28 plus-minus tied Joel Embiid's 2023 record for the worst plus-minus by a reigning MVP in a closeout game since the league started tracking data in 1997. He played 28 minutes, missed all 5 three-point attempts, and only got 3 free throws all night. Think about that. He went from 123 free throw attempts across 14 games to just 3 attempts in one night because he could not rely on his usual head-snapping tricks anymore. The entire Western Conference Finals against the Spurs was a brutal wake-up call, with Shai averaging just 24.3 points on 37.9% shooting, a massive drop from his 55.3% field goal rate during the regular season. He shot 26.1% from deep in the series. That was the biggest scoring drop-off by an MVP guard from the regular season to the conference finals in NBA history. He fell from 31.1 points per game in the regular season all the way down to 24.3 the moment defenses got physical and refs stopped rewarding the drama. The most frustrating part was his post-game press conference, when a reporter asked how he planned to get his game back before a must-win Game 7. Shai steered at the mic and said he was not too sure. That is a terrifying thing to hear from a 2-time MVP. Michael Jordan would rather jump out of a plane than sit at a podium before Game 7 and tell the world he has no idea how to score without referee help. Jordan willed his iconic moments into existence through pure competitive fire. Shai is out here looking for the officiating crew to save him. But the reason this situation got so toxic is that Jordan took it personally. The NBA literally spent millions in 2022 to rename the MVP award the Michael Jordan Trophy. They had legendary Nike designer Mark Smith sculpt a detailed bronze statue, exactly 23.6 inches tall, a nod to his jersey number and 6 rings. The base has 5 sides representing his 5 MVPs. The whole design shows a man ripping through stone to grab a crystal basketball, symbolizing a raw, relentless chase for greatness. And who did the league give that trophy to? A perimeter guard whose offensive game is built around tricking referees. Jordan took it personally. During NBC Sports specials, he basically broke his silence and told the broadcast crew he is disgusted with where the modern game is heading. He didn't even have to say Shai's name. Everyone knew. Imagine having your name on a trophy meant to honor a relentless competitor, and then it gets handed to a guy who finished a deep playoff run with 120 made free throws and only 114 actual field goals. The entire league finally said enough.
A little frail. That's what the rest are going to call.
Instead of responding on the court, Shai did what a typical soft modern star does. He posted a passive-aggressive Instagram photo replacing Brooks's jersey name with Cancun, basically telling him to go enjoy his summer. Shai probably thought that deflection worked and everyone would move on. Then, May 21st happened. A company called Underdog Fantasy dropped a real, physical board game called Unethical Hoops. It was built just like the classic Operation game, except the entire premise mocks Shai. A loud foul buzzer goes off every time you touch his body. This was not a meme or a tweet, it was an actual product. The tagline on the box said, "Shai has made hoops all about foul baiting. Don't get baited. Steal the ball without getting whistled. Every one of his tricks was labeled on the board like a menu. The lean in, the push off, the rip through. They even gave away 100 copies during Game 3 of the live Western Conference Finals. Coldest corporate reality check in years. And who starred in the commercial? Dylan Brooks, using tweezers. The same Dylan Brooks who was Shai's own teammate on the Canadian national team. Then Shai's camp panicked. His attorney Eric Fishman sent a cease and desist letter on May 22nd, ordering Underdog to stop using his name and image everywhere and to destroy every single copy of the board game. The second that letter leaked, the internet exploded with laughter. Everyone pointed out the perfect hypocrisy. Shai just stood at a podium saying fan criticism does nothing to him and he does not hear it. Then he immediately ran to his lawyers to sue a children's board game because his feelings got hurt.
I would only say that there's a difference between selling a call, exaggeration, and a true flop, which is where you're actually fooling the referee.
Silver basically admitted that players are being taught to manipulate the whistle. And if you think that is a conspiracy theory, listen to what Tyrese Halliburton confessed on the Pat McAfee show. Halliburton said players work on flopping before they even reach the NBA, and that guys are literally practicing fake fouls in local gym pickup games.
Based on what Commissioner Silver said and trying to fool the refs, how do you feel about it? And are coaches teaching it these days?
Yeah, for sure. It's being taught.
Guys like Raymond Felton are on podcasts defending it, saying learning how to react when a defender gets near your body is just part of the game, and crediting James Harden for creating the blueprint that Shai eventually perfected. It makes old school fans want to lose their minds. We went from the bad boy Pistons delivering real beatdowns and Michael Jordan winning championships with a broken foot and 103-degree fever to a league where stars treat the hardwood like a slip and slide. The talent is obviously real. By Game 5 of the conference finals, Shai joined Jordan and LeBron as the only players in NBA history to put up 30 points and 5 assists in 10 separate playoff games. But that historic resume falls apart the second you factor in 123 free throw attempts, which is 20 more than anyone else in the tournament. The entire NBA can no longer ignore what is right in front of them. The culture of excellence Jordan built has been replaced by a system that rewards theater over toughness. If Michael Jordan played today, would he ever snap his spine backward just to beg for a whistle? And if the greatest player alive would never do that, what does it really say about the men who do?